morning. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock on The Wax. It is Tuesday, May 28th. I'm Caitlin Nuclo.
And I'm Nicole Nalepa. Good morning, everyone. Let's get you started with weather and traffic. Heading over to meteorologist Jill Gilardi first. Is the fog starting to lift, Jill?
Just starting,
okay.
Just barely starting. Yeah, we're seeing right now in Hartford, there have been these little holes trying to develop. So the process is underway, but it's still going to take an hour or two for this fog to burn off. Hartford right now at 68. It is muggy out there, and the fog is even thicker down towards Mystic. You can tell it's harder to see in the distance. And so there you have it. Not everyone's socked in, but certainly we have areas where visibility is down even below a mile. So just be careful traveling in those areas where visibility has dropped off for you. But here's a look at the temperatures right now, mid and upper 60s. And the day ahead features the fog burning off, some sunshine, a couple of clouds, temperatures rising to the upper 70s, lower 80s. We'll let you know how long you can keep the umbrella away from you. We'll eventually see rain returning. More on that coming up a little bit later. Let's go to Caitlin now for an update on traffic.
All right, thanks, Jill. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. If you're getting ready to head out the door, back to work, back to school here this morning, so roads are looking pretty typical in terms of that traffic volume. You can see your drive times and speeds. Hartford to New Haven on 91, Waterbury to Hartford, 84 eastbound into the capital city, and then New Haven to the George Washington Bridge, 95 southbound. Just about 101-minute ride time through that area. Again, very normal in terms of that traffic volume. The Merritt Parkway really starting to back up at this time through Fairfield County. And then first alert, we are dealing with a crash. This is in Waterbury, Route 8 southbound between exits 30 and 29. The left lane there is blocked off, so we are seeing some minor delays roll through here. State police on scene. Looks like we do have that tow truck that's just arrived as well, with that one vehicle off into the guardrail there. So just give yourself some time. But again, we are dealing with some of that fog, especially along the shoreline. It looks like we are seeing a little bit of an improvement through the New Haven area, 95 north and southbound here by Fulton Terrace. I'm Caitlin Francis with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
In West Haven, police are on the hunt for a gunman this morning. We're told a person was shot at a house on Peck Avenue at about 5:30 last night. Pinpoint News Tracker shows you where it happened. We're told the victim is expected to be okay.
And now at 7:03, closing arguments are set for this morning in former President Donald Trump's hush money trial. Attorneys on both sides will square off, trying to win over the jury of 7 men and 5 women. Prosecutors called 20 witnesses over 5 weeks and are expected to tie together various texts, calls, and documents at the heart of the case. Trump's lawyers are expected to argue that the prosecution's case hinges on the word of former fixer Michael Cohen, a man convicted of lying to Congress and therefore unreliable.
Another developing story we're following for you this morning. Richard Street in Newington back open after the road has been closed for hours after a car crash. It happened last night between Willard Avenue and Revere Drive. We reached out to police for some more information. We'll give you the first alert here on the air and on the WFSB News app.
Now to overseas, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling a deadly airstrike on a tent camp in Rafah a tragic mistake. At least 45 people were killed, that is. Hundreds were hurt in this camp that was for displaced Palestinians. Last week, one of the world's top international courts demanded that Israel stop its offensive in Rafah, while Israel says that it needs to defeat remaining Hamas battalions in the southern Gaza city.
After a violent weekend in Bridgeport, Governor Ned Lamont and Mayor Joe Ganim coming together to discuss the recent gun violence.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Olivia Schuler joins us now to explain what happened over the weekend to prompt this discussion.
5 shootings in Bridgeport in the span of 24 hours. It all triggered state leaders to come together to try to find a way to put a stop to these recent acts of violence in the city. So let's break down what happened over the weekend. It's all spanning from Saturday night to Sunday morning. 4 men and 1 woman were shot, all in their 20s. 2 victims are at an area hospital fighting for their life. A man was shot in the groin by Reed Elementary School. In a separate incident, a woman brought herself to the hospital early Sunday morning after she was shot in the face and neck while driving. Bridgeport police released a statement in response to the violence, saying in part, "We want to assure the residents of Bridgeport that we are fully committed to finding those responsible for these senseless acts of violence." Bridgeport police say they're adding more patrols to the areas in that which were hit over the weekend. This morning at 9:30, that is when state leaders will be meeting at the Bridgeport Police Department to discuss different ways they can try to put a stop to these recent acts of violence. Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Olivia. Also, 2 hikers in Union are safe this morning after they were reported missing yesterday. They were missing in Bigelow Hollow State Park. First responders spent hours searching on the ground and in the air. And the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says that they were found safe just around 7 o'clock yesterday morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is 7:05, and yes, we're waiting for the fog to lift. It's starting to. You can tell that you can see a little bit farther in the distance, say Windsor Locks, where it's 69 degrees versus this view out of Old Saybrook. Can't see very far out there, but we will see the fog burning off. Obviously, it's a little thicker down towards the south where you see the shaded white area. That is where the visibility in some places below even a mile, so a quarter of a mile. All right, let's take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Notice we have the sunny icons showing up, so improvements over the next couple of hours. Sunshine will break out. Temperatures will be warming into the upper 70s by lunchtime. Not only inland, but also at the shoreline. The wind flow is a little bit more in your favor today if you're located along the shoreline, so temperatures will be nearly as warm for you. A nice day today, but eventually you'll need the umbrella again. Don't put those patio cushions back out just yet. We'll talk about rain chances ahead in your First Alert forecast.